Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Mostly.
New year, new us. Not really. Same old us. But new year. Hopefully everyone had a good break. I know I enjoyed some time off. Just getting everything figured out. Holidays were good. So how about yours?
Yeah.
Good.
I got no complaints.
Sweet.
Life goes on. Holidays are over. Unfortunately.
Yep, and we're back.
We're back to normal reality.
Yep. Which is fine. Also, just a reminder, go subscribe, follow,
It's
like,
new year.
comment.
Subscribe.
It's a new year, give us a new, start venturing out, explore new podcasts. And if we're
Starting with us.
If we happen to be one of those podcasts, why not just follow us?
Please.
We release episodes every week,
Yeah, we try. And, listen, even if we don't,
we do our best.
We have a very big backlog of nonsense.
Yes.
So please follow wherever you find podcasts. Give us a follow, like whatever you do. We appreciate it.
So we got a repeat offender today.
Yeah, anytime we have a director that shows up more than once, we call them repeat offenders.
Yeah, well, we have to. I mean, in this kind of podcast, it's kind of
now
kind of fits the name fits.
One of you lucky ducks did at one point put this down as a request. I did not say anything because guess what, buddy? Friendo.
Here.
I already have this on the list.
Movie was called Mutant.
Yes, the film tonight was Mutant. This director's first offense, and believe me, it was a crime.
This is John Bud Cardos. Was it both of them that made the other one?
Huh?
There's two directors, I guess.
One of them got fired, I think.
Oh, okay. So is this Mark Rossman?
No, it's John Bud.
Bud Cardos.
You know what's funny? Here's the funny thing. It's funny I mentioned that because there's two directors listed on this. One of them is uncredited because I think he got fired or quit very early. His first film that we watched, The Dark, also had two directors.
Oh, good.
One of whom got fired and got replaced with our buddy John Bud Cardos.
Well, he's back again. But I will admit, he did learn a thing or two.
Yeah, this is an actual movie.
Because this actually works.
It's an actual movie. Your entertainment of it may depend on your appreciation of goth sensibilities.
Yeah, and maybe like your level of libations. How much you've intook in drink.
Yeah.
Or, like you said, how much you listen to 80s goth music, because we'll get to it. But,
because we both went in this very blind, so.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard anything about this movie. But
I just knew the title.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, it's a movie. It's very, I will say this before we get too into it. It is one of those like very predictable movies. Typical fare. Like you'll notice a lot of things that we've brought up a lot in this podcast. A lot of
movies have done it.
A lot of movies have done this kind of plot, so it's nothing new. It's
old, reliable.
Not groundbreaking at all, but you know what? At least it's not The Dark. So at least you can actually see what's going on in the fucking movie. So that's always good.
Yeah, it's an actual movie.
So let's kind of get into it. So we get two brothers. They're going on a road trip. One is like this fast and loose guy. The other one's
the older brother.
Yeah, the younger one's kind of more like, calculated and likes to kind of play by the rules. And so, because we get a scene where the brother lets go of the wheel and freaks his younger brother out, and they almost get ran off the road by some rednecks.
Well, they almost hit them, but then they keep driving.
But then they keep driving, and the rednecks come up behind them
and they start ramming them.
ramming the car, and eventually it veers off the road into like a ravine. And the rednecks are like, well, that's what you get. You almost like, they're blaming them for like wrecking their truck or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just being total dicks out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then they drive away, so they have to
small town vibes,
walk.
I guess.
They have to walk. And
so they walked. So they start walking. They hitchhike with like a guy named Mel, which is kind of important. It's like the harbinger, right?
Well, yeah, because
in these horror movies,
does the whatever his name is in Friday the 13th, but he does the typical like, yeah, we had people come here just like you like a month ago, and they've disappeared without a trace and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and he's acting like super weird and very vague. He has to drop them off just randomly at like a fork in the road, and
he's
can't even take them into like town.
Yeah, I can't. He's like, I can't. I got things to do.
So they walk to the rest of town, and they notice it's like a little empty. Like there's not a lot of people. There's not a lot of commotion going on.
By the time they get to town, it's night.
Yeah, also. So there's only like one bar open. I mean, there's only one bar in the whole town.
Yeah.
So they go into the bar, and
first, before they go.
Oh
to the bar,
no, yeah, sorry. They find
they see a guy a drunk ambling out of the bar, and
we did forget. Sorry, at the beginning, the guy in the basement isn't.
Fuck!
The first death. How do we forget that?
I don't even know. Probably because that guy's never mentioned. I
can't remember why he's there. Is he like a plumber or something?
I have no idea. But it's like a guy in a basement, and we see this house again. But he goes in this. He's looking around, and he sees like all this like goop kind of everywhere, and he follows it down into the basement.
Yeah.
And he sees a body tumble out of a closet. And you just see the arm, and there's like a cut, like up the arm, up the hand, I should say. And then somebody grabs him,
like lifts him up,
and we see like.
But you just see the shadow. You don't see.
You see smoke coming off.
Yeah. So and then it starts with the two brothers driving. So we go back to town. There's like a drunk guy taking a piss.
He gets ambushed by something.
Gets attacked. You don't know exactly what happens, and then the two brothers find him dead.
His face is like burned.
Yeah, so he's like all like disfigured and burned, and so they go into the bar because they're gonna try and call the police, obviously. And lo and behold, the fucking rednecks are there,
and they immediately start shit.
They start a huge fucking bar fight out of nowhere. They cut the brother, like the younger brother, he pulls out a knife and cuts his arm, and then they like pull out a broken beer bottle on the other brother, and then finally the sheriff kind of breaks it up, and he's like, "Oh my god, like I got enough problems in this town. Like you need to get the hell out of here. I don't want to see your faces here." And they're like,
but the younger brother is like, but like the whole reason we need you to come out here is because there's a dead body. And the older brother's like, okay, come on, like, don't tell him that. I just want to, like,
get on the road. I don't want to, like, be here anymore.
And they go to the alley where they originally saw the body. And now you think they see it. And then the sheriff turns over the body. And it's just another guy, another drunk.
Yeah, so the sheriff, like, immediately doesn't believe them. And so they're like okay.
It's a different body.
I'm going to set you up somewhere, get your car fixed.
Be gone tomorrow.
Get the fuck out of town.
By sundown.
So, like, the two brothers walk away, and the sheriff's seeing something on the ground. It's like this orange goopy stuff, and so he like puts it in a film canister.
Yeah.
And then stores it, and so they go to Mom Mabel's.
Yes, Miss
Maple.
Something like that.
Mabel. I don't know.
Mabel.
So anyway, they go to like this big like house,
and it's dark.
And he's like, just ask her for a room. She should have some like places. So they go up. They ask her. She's like,
don't forget, before they get there, it's completely dark, which is also a harbinger, I suppose.
Well, they also
all the lights are off.
The direction they blast the fucking fog everywhere.
They have all the dry ice and the biggest fog machine they could muster.
It's Wumbo size.
The Wumbo machine.
The Wumbo. We forget about the jumbo fog machine. Pull out the Wumbos.
The jumbo's not gonna do it for this one, boys. We need the Wumbo here.
I don't know why that word makes me laugh so much.
It's not jumbo, it's Wumbo.
Fucking love. Okay, so I'm an idiot. I don't know why like fucking Wumbo breaks me.
We might be losing our mind.
I think we might. So they go into the bed and breakfast. The old woman's like, you know, I haven't had people stay here for a long time.
My daughter is dead.
My daughter died, and you know, I changed the sheets, so don't worry. And so like they set up the brother in one room, and they set up the other brother in the other room. And so, well, I should say Josh, and then so Josh is our main guy. He's the one they focus on the most.
Yeah, the older brother.
Because the younger brother,
Mike, I think.
Mike, he sits in his bedroom, and then Josh comes in and like freaks him out, like tries to play it, and then like Mike's like, we gotta go tell the police, like there was a body there, we're gonna go tell them, and Josh is like, no, I don't want to do this.
He's like, you just want to abandon this, and he's like, yes.
I love how he's just so blunt. He's like, yeah, I want to. I want to go.
This town is trouble. Like, I do not want to be here.
But Mike can't let it go. So basically, Josh convinces him that once they fix the car, they'll go get the police
in the next county.
So that they can come investigate. And you know, Mike's like, okay, let's get some sleep tonight.
There's also a quick moment where I think Josh looks out his window and
he sees like a person carrying a body on their back.
Yeah. And they were wearing like a hazmat.
I don't blame Josh here. I would want to get the fuck out of this town too.
Listen, after everything that happened and after everything that they've seen, 100%.
It's like typical horror movies. Like if they just would have gotten out of there, nothing would have happened to them. But you know, there wouldn't be a movie also if that happened. So
would have been 15 minutes long.
Yeah, well, which maybe some people watching this would probably prefer that because
a quick short.
Yeah, it's kind of boring, but
it's fine.
It's fine. It's not insulting. So anyway, Mike is sleeping in his bed. He like hears something scratching, like somewhere, and so he like wakes up. He like looks out the window, and then, oh no, he doesn't look out the window. He like sits up, and he was like,
he thinks it's his brother messing with him.
Yeah. So he's like, "What are you doing, Josh?" And then there's no response. So he hears the scratching, like kind of like coming underneath his bed.
Yeah.
And so he like he leans over and like looks under his bed, and there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden he like gets grabbed, like something comes up and like grabs him on the face, and you see the steam and like it's pulling him under the bed, and then you realize there's like a trap door.
There's a trap door under the bed.
And so it pulls him all the way under, and he's gone. Gonzo.
I do kind of appreciate the implications of all this, though, because it's almost like it almost makes me think that like that the mom just like puts people in like those rooms or in that bed specifically to be like, you know, taken for.
Which, I mean, actually watching the movie in the whole movie, that would make sense.
Yeah, because that's almost the implication that they're going for, I think.
I mean, that's probably exactly what they're going for because, you know, she lied to them at the beginning.
And hey,
so.
And then you have a lovely trapdoor.
Because, I mean, you know, at a certain point you understand what she's doing. I'm not going to give it away right now. But it makes a lot of sense why that would happen, because why would she change the sheets so often? You know what I mean? So, anyway, Josh wakes up the next day, and he like goes to like wake up his brother, and the old woman is in the room. And he's like, "Have you seen Josh? Like, I haven't seen him." And she's like, "Well, it's noon. I thought you were going to be asleep all day. I haven't seen Josh. He left all his stuff here.
So I guess you're still staying the night."
And he's like, "No, we're going to fix the car and get out of here. I'm going to go do that. Would you let me know, you know, when he gets back, just where I'm at.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, fine. And then she's being all suspicious because she like looks down and you still see his shoes and his pants that he was wearing. So Josh,
he goes to the gas station and it's closed.
Yep. And then he like goes everywhere in town and like everything's like shuttered up or closed.
We also forgot that the sheriff.
Oh, he goes to because he had this fling with this doctor. And the doctor's having a hard time because there's this like mysterious illness going through the town, but no one wants to go out during the day.
Yeah.
So like no one wants to see her, and
people are just canceling appointments.
Yeah, so she feels like, you know, it's like her or like,
it's like sexism.
The fact that she's a woman or something, because she's like a newer doctor.
Yeah.
And so the sheriff like convinces her to like take a look at this goopy stuff.
But as soon as he takes it, tries
it's like all
pocket,
hot.
Yeah, it's like burning.
So she's like, yeah, I'll take a look at it. Let me see what I can find. And that's when Josh like starts looking around the town, and he like everything's closed. He goes into the bar, which is like open, but no one's there.
No, it's completely empty.
And so he's like looking around, and then all of a sudden, like a younger woman steps out and starts explaining that like none of the businesses are open anymore. Everyone's like either at home sick or hasn't like shown up to work at all.
Because she's also, not only is she a bartender, she's also a teacher.
She's a teacher, and she's like the bar owner's like niece or something like that.
But basically, like, no one else can work.
Yeah, so he's like, well, I need someone to like, I need to get to the next town because I need to get my car out of the ravine.
Yeah.
And so he's like, can you like, is there a bus or anything? And she's like, no, that doesn't even run. And so she offers to take him to the next town.
But she has to go to the school first.
Yes.
So they go to the school, and it's again completely empty. There's just one kid.
Well, yeah, no kid, like no other kids whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's like super weird.
There's just the one kid, and he's like scared, and he tells like that his parents are gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're not home. And she's like, "Oh, I'm sure they're just like they just went out shopping. I'm sure everything's fine."
Yeah, so I can't remember why. Is this the time where Josh goes in the school basement, or is that later? Okay, why does he go? I can't remember. Because
they hear the roaring.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, Josh is there, and he hears they hear roaring in the basement, so he goes to investigate it, and he's looking around like there's all these pipes and shit, and then like a body falls on top of him,
and it's a girl, it's a student.
Yeah,
she's dead, and she is our first victim of the goth.
I guess we should say that they mentioned that there was a janitor.
The only person who should be at the school is the janitor.
Yeah. So
guess who it is?
He's like laying on the ground because he just got bodied by this body. And so
Thanks for that sentence.
He looks. You're welcome. He looks up, and lo and behold, like you said, it's the fucking hillbilly guy,
the main, like almost like the leader or whatever. And he's just like, "Oh, you're a child murderer. You know, we do child murderers."
He like grabs a pipe and like starts like going to like trying to fucking like hit him, and Josh is defending himself, and like eventually the fucking hillbilly guy, he hits a pipe and a bunch of steam pours out, and so Josh points the pipes towards him, and he gets all burned.
He like scalds his face,
and then Josh can get away, and goes up, and they get out of the school.
Well, he hides, and they call the sheriff, and again the dickhead is like being like, yeah, he like did this and that, and like you got to go find him. And
so yeah, Josh gets away because Josh runs away. And yeah, so then the dickhead's like, "Oh, we gotta go find him. He's a child murderer, and
he's like,
he attacked me."
And you're the only one who knows this. Like, okay, sure, whatever. Like,
well, then the woman's trying to be like, "Well, like, he was with me. There's no way
no
he
way.
could have done that. And the sheriff's like, well, I don't know. Like, we'll just have to look into it.
And he's you also see that the sheriff has a bit of a drinking problem.
Yes, he has like a flask of whiskey with him all the time.
And every time some nonsense happens, he's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Can't say I blame him in this instance, but yeah.
Picked the wrong week to quit drinking. Then I think he goes.
So this is where So doesn't Josh?
Yeah, because because they do find the body. The sheriff finds it, and he's gonna.
Oh yeah, they're gonna like take it to the coroner, but like the doctor is, she's like, let me investigate the body before you take it to the coroner. I want to see.
Because there's a scene, I don't remember when. I think it was might have been right before this, where she's telling the sheriff about the like stuff that she found.
It was before this because she's saying it was like human blood,
yeah.
But basically, she accidentally got the bandana of like Mike next to it and it absorbed the blood from that bandana.
So it's like it almost like takes over regular
and like blood. Mutates. So she is going to take the body back to her like
it's a general practice.
Her office.
Yeah.
And just see what's going on. See if she can like test it, see like what's going on. And he's like, okay, well he's like reluctant at first, and he's like, okay, you got like 1 day. Like you can examine it and then I'm taking it to the coroner. She's like, oh, thank you. And they have like a little moment.
A little heart to heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, she takes it, and the bartender teacher is like driving away, and Josh just like, you find out he's been hiding at the back of her car.
Yeah.
So they go to her place, and her uncle
is sick.
And
so she's taking care of him,
and he just keeps telling her like, yeah, please just turn off the light. Just turn off the light. She turns it off, and he immediately just gets under the covers.
I mean, mood.
Like an edgy goth kid.
Mood.
Same. We've all been there.
So I can't remember when does she mention the like new era?
Sometime after this, because this is also the scene where when they're like sitting in the main room where we see the
boom mic,
a shadow.
It's not the actual boom mic, but you do see a shadow of the boom mic. So
it's
we haven't seen that in a while, actually.
No, yeah, I don't know the last one that I remember seeing it. At least, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, the problem is we're getting to the point where we've seen so many movies that it's like
they're all kind of bleeding.
My brain's just starting to like not expand, but because you don't see the whole boom mic, you see the shadow, the joy of HD.
But they're talking, and like Josh is like getting all like, I mean, they're just talking about like everything that's going on, and then they like connect and kiss.
But they keep but it's funny because they obviously have like the light in like somewhere in the middle of the room.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the shadow of the boom mic. They're sitting in like the corner of the room, so like both walls are there, and you see the boom mic shadow on both. You just kind of see it wiggling around.
Yep,
it's very adorable.
And it's like moving, like the mic operator is moving when each person is talking. It's great.
The movie magic.
At some point, I mean, listen, I might be glazing over some stuff, but it doesn't really matter. Well, at some point she mentions there's this like big like chemical conglomerate called New Era that's like just come into town on the outskirts of town, and they're trying to like they're like this new big company that's gonna like save the town or something.
They're gonna put all this money into the city, but don't forget the sheriff goes to the house of the parents of that girl to tell them.
Yeah, and there's like no one there, so he goes into like the food cellar, and like walks around, and then a hand like reaches out, grabs him. He gets all freaked out, and it's the dad.
And he's like all burned up, and he just keeps talking about the hands.
He's like, "Don't let like it's the hands.
It's the hands.
It's in the hands."
And then he dies. And then he calls. I think this might be the second time he calls like headquarters or whatever.
Well, and they're like very unwilling to help him. Like they don't believe him.
Yeah, and they're just like, we got other things. We got a tanker that's overturned, and all this stuff. We just can't do anything for you. And of course, he's like, fuck it. He takes more swigs of his wild turkey.
Yep.
Then he dumps it all out and dumps it on the ground. But I think, he does convince the headquarters or whatever to finally go down there and like
just to investigate what's going on,
check it out with him. But yeah, the guy and the girl go to the chemical.
They go to the New Era facility, and it's like no trespassing, so they hop the fence, or Josh hops the fence, and then goes to like investigate what's going on, and they're just straight up just fucking dumping a bunch of chemical waste in a giant vat.
A giant hole in the ground.
Because he's like looking, and they're just fucking like pumping this hose of this fucking chemical in a giant square hole in the ground.
Yep.
You don't ever get you get a brief look inside of it, but it's just a fucking just empty square.
Yeah, he ends up falling off a ladder, and they get him,
and
and he looks in there,
and of course, exposition dump. They just basically say, we're just dumping all this shit. We're bad guys.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. And it's Mel. I should say it's Mel from the beginning. So that's why he was acting all weird.
He works for the fucking company.
Yeah. And I think it's like Josh thinks they're taking it from that, but they're actually just dumping it.
They're just dumping it all.
So Josh gets the upper hand. He elbows one of them in the stomach.
And they're about to, they grab him there, and they're telling him that they're going to throw him in there, and that no one's going to find him. And the woman busts through the wall of the warehouse with the car.
And I love it because he
hits two of them.
And they go into the vat, and then the hose starts going crazy.
Well, no, she drives over the hose, and when he jumps in the car and they drive back, the tire rips the hose, so it splatters Mel, and then it's noodling, and then it wraps around him.
It almost hits him into the vat.
And he fucking
dies. So they're driving off, and they gotta go tell the sheriff about what's going on. But before that happens, the main headquarters comes down, and there's no body.
The sheriff's like, it's gone, but you gotta believe me. And
the guy's like, I don't believe you,
because he sees the empty bottle of.
He's like, I think this is yours, and he's like, listen, we're going to process this. Basically, they're processing a suspension. So by the time Josh and the woman get back, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name at all to save my life.
It's fine.
So they get back, and they're going into the sheriff's office, and he's just drinking. He's just like...
He's like, yeah, I'm a civilian
He's
now.
like, they've upgraded me to civilian.
This is also the second scene. Yeah, this is the second scene with the boom mic. Very slight shadow, but it's there.
But after this, no other boom mic scene. This must be where the director or the lighting crew stepped in and was like, hey, you fucked up.
They looked at the footage they had, and then somebody was like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Listen, we gotta fix this shit.
You fucking do this again, you're fired.
So they're like, but we have proof. We can prove it all. And he's like, I got proof too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all. And so then they go back to the doctor.
Well, because they talk, and he mentions that his brother's still missing.
So the brother's gonna go to Miss Maples
because the sheriff tells him yeah, she has a daughter, and he's like, no, she told me her daughter's dead.
Yeah, and then he's like, I gotta go back and look for Will. Oh no, not Will. Will's the sheriff. Mm-hmm. Sorry, he's got to go back and look for Mike. So basically, Josh is going to go look for his brother, and the sheriff is going to go check in on the doctor lady.
which
she's doing she's looking at the girl's dead body. I'm not sure in the timeline. I kind of forgot where this fits in, so it might have been before.
It's all chaos.
But it doesn't matter because we're into our fucking like big ass like. This is where all the shit hits the fan.
This is when you see the big the dance, because she's like, you know, she's doing the thing where she's like recording herself on the tape recorder, describing the body and how like that it's like something about like how it like has this like whatever that is, it like takes over the body and makes some sort of reaction in the body.
Yeah, but it like
starts to like, it's like it like the pressure is so high that it's like trying to burst through the body, and then it ends up bursting
through the hands and like sucking blood through the hands.
But it creates a need for more blood.
And while this is all happening, while she's recording this and like figuring all this shit out, her fucking assistant is in the hallway just fucking like transforming.
Yeah.
Just like convulsing and like becoming all gray and bubbly and shit. She doesn't notice this at all.
No.
Which is hilarious because he's literally, it's like an open door and you just see him. She's like in the forefront. He's in the foreground. Like, and you just see like him fucking like, it's kind of a funny shot because she's doing like, she's all calm and everything. And he's like,
and then he transforms.
So he like gets up and she's like, you gotta come see this. Look at this. And then he's like, has like this really dark eye makeup.
Yeah, they all
this is why this is where the goth joke came on.
Well, because immediately when they turn into they're basically zombies. They're like completely gray and pale.
Don't you know the leeches pump their brains full of the cure? I mean, you know, just all in there. AFI, him, you know, all that stuff. Just the leeches love that shit.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thought you'd like to know.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Fucking
any
Christ.
any goth band you can think of, and it's just like
fucking Christ.
That's what these things thrive off: blood and goth music.
Yeah, and the red, not red, like dark eye makeup.
Yeah, cool. Well, because they become all like ashy, and then with like the dark eye makeup, and then they have the slits on their hands that are like oozing this yellow shit.
But what they do is when they're like walking around and attacking,
it's hilarious.
Hold their arms like
so. It's like a zombie movie. But
it's a zombie movie.
But instead of them
eating.
just mindlessly walking and eating, they're touching their hands on everything.
And they're doing like the.
I love it because they're just like
creepy.
Take your hands and like hold them like
Palms out.
like kind of like head level and just like move your elbows. That's basically how they walk around.
It's adorable.
It's cute.
Just put on some Cure or Sisters of Mercy.
It especially gets really bad when there's like a group of them.
Oh, because
it looks so ridiculous because they're all doing that.
They're all doing that, and
they all have like the dark eye makeup and stuff.
And they're all like, yeah.
I get what they were going for, but it just doesn't. There's no. It's not threatening.
No, it's. I mean, I will say it's.
It's unique. Yeah, it's very unique.
I certainly did not expect a zombie movie.
I didn't either. I didn't know what we were going for because the generic whole like chemical dumping we've seen so many times.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, even with that scene though, you still have like no idea what the fuck it is.
Well, yeah, and now all of a sudden there is. So he attacks her, and then the I think it shows the sheriff first, doesn't it?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Let's say it does.
Yeah.
Let's say it does.
So the sheriff comes to the doctors, and he's looking around, and there's like just everything's disheveled, and he goes into the operating room, and the girl's body is on the ground. So he's like, "What the hell happened?"
But everything's but he finds the tape recorder,
and so he presses play on it, and just hears that she was attacked. I don't know if this is after because it wasn't Josh. Isn't Josh with them when he plays the tape recorder? I can't remember.
The woman is.
Oh, that's right. So they go into the other room. They start getting attacked by all these like patients.
Everybody.
Yeah, like all. Once that one zombie attack happened, all the fucking zombies come out. Like they don't even care because it is getting nighttime.
And they split. They split up.
Yeah, so he goes into another room.
Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. When he went to the house of the parents of that dead girl, he noticed that all of the light bulbs were
removed. So he goes into another room and finds the doctor dead, and is all sad.
And then that scene ends, but the woman got separated with him, and she is she's by the school, and she sees the okay, I'm gonna
little kid.
Yeah, she sees the kid, but I think before this, Josh went to the house.
So yeah, we'll go over that scene because Josh comes to the woman's rescue, so we need to get through this scene.
He goes to the house and like busts in, and
he starts like
he's like, I know you.
He's
lied.
like, you're lying. I know your daughter's alive. Where's my brother? So he like starts ramming through her like her like house, and she's like, what are you doing? This is unreasonable. Get out of my house. And like he like goes downstairs, and he starts going downstairs, and she like slams the door and locks it. And I'm like, what did you expect was gonna happen?
And because all the lights are gone, and he's looking around, and there you immediately see like a bunch of bodies.
Yeah, and then he like sees his brother's body, gets all sad for a minute, and then Penelope attacks him. Penelope's the daughter. Yeah. And so she attacks him, they start like tussling, and he gets away, finally gets
he gets upstairs.
Well, I don't know how he unlocks the door. Does she unlock it?
Yeah, because the mom had unlocked it and was like waiting with a knife.
Remember? Oh, that's right. So he opens the door, and she like tries to like swing at him,
and then she misses, but he like bodies her down the fucking steps, and we see like an old woman just tumble down the steps and like run right into Penelope, and he of course locks the door, and she just gets annihilated.
We did forget to mention the younger woman was also attacked by her uncle.
Yes.
She was attacked by her uncle, and Josh came to like save her, and then like the uncle yeets himself out the fucking window.
We see a stuntman dressed as an old man just fucking bodying themselves out of a window
and
like,
jumping off a
down
roof.
The grass.
Yep. So anyway, that happens, and then now we're at the school.
Yeah.
So the woman is looking for this student. And she goes into the bathroom.
Because he ran away thinking that she's one of the things.
So he goes into the bathroom and like...
he's like in the corner.
Well, and she's like reaching for his hand, and his hand is like... You don't know if it has the cut on it.
Yeah.
But it's not gray, so obviously...
He's fine.
He's fine.
And he's like crying.
So like she tries to console him, and then immediately all the fucking kids from the school start like fucking like crowding into this fucking bathroom.
Yeah, they hide in the toilet, and the kid
gets dragged underneath the stall, and like all the kids just start touching him with their hands.
Just start patting him, and you see flour flying around. It's adorable.
And so yeah. Josh gets there and like jumps up onto the top, like a platform, and like pulls her up. They barely get out of the school, but they're able to like escape and lock it. And so they're driving.
They go to the hospital.
Because that's where the sheriff is supposed to be.
So she's in the car, and he goes in there to look, and all he finds is the sheriff's hat and his gun with all the rounds like spent. Yeah,
so you just think the sheriff is dead. And while he's like investigating that, she's like looking around. There's blasting fog everywhere.
Wumbo machine is out.
Fucking Wumbo fog machine is out.
There's some shots where you can't even fucking see anything because there's so much fog like shrouding the like her. It's great.
you know what's gonna happen. Like the music is crescendoing and like everything, and then all of a sudden, like they start like putting their like you see like a guy come out of the fucking fog and like put his hands all over the.
And they start melting.
They start melting the fucking window
because their hands are burning hot.
And so they like start reaching in, and then Josh comes out, like picks up a bench and throws it at two of them. It grabs a board from the bench and just like starts wailing on these fucking zombies.
And he tells her to like turn on her headlights, so she does, and a bunch of them clear out.
So he's able to get in the car, and they get out, but there's a bunch of like zombies on top of their car.
Like there's one on the very top, and he starts melting.
So they shake off a little bit, and then he starts melting through, and then
with a lovely fake hand,
which is like way too long. It's like disproportionately long to the body, which is hilarious. It's like just some guy holding this fucking fake hand.
He's holding the fake hand while like holding himself on top of the car so he doesn't go flying off.
So they swerve to try and get him off, and then they crash, and the
guy
car
goes
flips.
tumbling through the bar. They flip. They flip over. They run out. They get to the gas station, and there's just
now missed opportunity. The car did not explode.
Yeah, it's an 80s movie, and
it's on fire, but it did not explode. What the hell?
What? Yeah, what's up with that?
I was expecting an explosion, and you know what? Honestly, it got docked a point for that.
I agree. It's an 80s movie. Like, I don't care if it's unrealistic. You flip a car over.
It doesn't matter.
It has to
There
explode.
should be an explosion. There was everything to
It
like.
was on fire.
It was on fire. It was flipped over. There should have been an explosion. I'm sorry. That's a cinema sin for me.
It is.
It really is.
Ultimate sin.
I want to see things go bang bang.
I know. I need
I want
explosions.
I want explosion. Give me explosion. Sorry, lizard brain talking.
No. It's a lizard brain movie. Come on, give us that.
It is.
But yeah, no explosion.
We're talking about hand zombies. Like
they're hand goth zombies.
The hand goth zombies. Wow, that is a good band name. Hand goth zombies.
That's it. I got it.
It's a good one.
I get it now. I'm gonna do it.
Yep, there you go.
My calling.
So they like go to the gas station, and they're like contemplating what they're going to do because they're loading up these Molotov cocktails. And the woman starts to like break on him, and he's like, "No, don't break on me! Like, come on, we got this. We're gonna survive." And he gets all sad because he's thinking about his brother.
It's fine.
Gobbledygook, but then is this when the hillbilly shows up?
Yeah, because
I don't know how he just he fucking appears wherever this.
She goes like to the back of the gas station.
Poor Josh, this hillbilly just fucking appears. He just
because she goes to the back of the gas station and he just pops out of like a closet and he's like, "I've been hiding there," and like, "I thought you were one of them, but I know what I'm gonna do." So he tells her that he's gonna fucking like use her as bait to like.
So he has her, and like Josh is able to get the upper hand and like grab his rifle. He's like, "I was just kidding. I'm not gonna do anything,
prank, bro." Yeah, and then Josh like loses his rifle because he gets attacked by a hand zombie, and so the guy's like holding her, and then he gets attacked by multiple hand zombies.
Dragged through the window.
He's dragged through the window.
So he's gone.
He's donezo, and they start throwing the Molotovs.
So they're throwing it all over this gas station. They're fighting them off the bbest they can. They're running out of weapons to use. And they're like shining a flat. He's like final last resort, just shining a flashlight at all of them. And then all of a sudden, all these high beams come on, and the police show up, and all these zombies scatter, and they just start fucking firing at all of them. They just
start mowing them down, and then everything's fine. They come out. The sheriff's alive. And that tells them that we know that the new era did it. We know like that they did all this. The commander or whatever is there, and he's like, "Yeah, about that suspension. You're not suspended anymore." And he just tells them like, "Shove it up your ass."
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I think you know where you can shove this." And then we hear like.
A radio report.
They're taking the bodies away, and we hear a radio report of how the new era is starting in multiple counties across the states.
That they're gonna have 10 industrial disposal
and they're
sites.
trying to be an international power.
And then
end movie. Yeah. So
Mutant.
Sorry, very generic. Mutant. The zombies weren't generic, but that's about the only original thing in this movie.
Goth Zombies.
Goth Zombies. I can appreciate the design, I guess.
Goth hand zombies.
It kind of looks ridiculous, though. I'm not. It doesn't invoke scary to me.
No, and it's hard to pinpoint what it is about it.
It just looks kind of goofy in a way.
Yeah, something about it just doesn't quite. It's also weird because well,
I think so. For my thing, if you're gonna do zombies, the whole idea of a zombie literally just being in just this fucking just eating machine that doesn't care about whether it's injured or not. There's no fucking humanity left in it, right? So they're literally falling apart and don't give a shit because they just want to eat brains. These Goth Zombies, they want to fucking touch people. That's
yeah.
I don't know, it just, the idea was there, but I just don't, it wasn't executed well enough for me to be okay, that's really creepy.
Well, because we got a weird, it's almost like a weird combo of zombies and vampires, because there's the whole thing of they're afraid of light, and they all kind of come out in the nighttime.
What was weird is they never really explained what the chemical was used for, why this fucking big conglomerate had just vats of this shit everywhere. They never explained what it did, why it was there, what happened. It just kind of a chemical that does it.
It just does, yeah.
It just makes a fucking zombie leech goth vampire for some reason.
Yeah, if you put enough of it in the ether of the region.
And I get what they're trying to do. Maybe they were saying that there's no blood left in the bodies, which is why they're gray. But they didn't make them gaunt or anything. They didn't do the makeup to make them look skeletal.
No.
So they didn't do anything to make their to make them look like the blood had been sucked out of their body.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
And plus you never really see blood being sucked, so to speak.
Well, and it's not very threatening. I mean, it's just they just put their palms on person.
Yeah, and you see smoke kind of.
That's it.
And then that's it.
So for me, that's kind of where it lost me, because it was kind of an entertaining movie, but it just wasn't, the idea wasn't executed well enough for me.
It's a very okay.
It's I would say it's very middle of the road.
It's very okay.
It's not horrifically bad, but it's not incredible.
Yeah, you're not gonna you're not gonna watch this and get massive oh yeah, I really I feel a lot from this.
Right. And well, there's not a lot of there's not even a scene that's so ridiculous it sends it into a kind of that obscurity that's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, because there's nothing horribly bad in this.
No.
But there's also nothing amazing. So, it's not like Forbidden Planet where the movie's just shit and then we get to see someone being pissed on.
Well, and I mean, I'm not to say the camera work was there. I mean, it's just, I mean, the soundtrack was fine, the camera work was fine, the movie was just fine.
It's okay.
It's just okay. That's that's all I can say about it. It's just, and don't wait. I mean, honestly, don't waste your time. You can watch a billion other great movies.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure you can watch countless other zombie movies
that are better than this. I mean, unless you want to see Goth Zombies,
unless you want to put on, like I said, you want to put on some scenes from this. Put on The Cure or Sisters of Mercy in the background. There you go. Some Joy Division, whatever.
You know what you could do? You know how like sometimes I don't know if I mean we're from Utah, so there's this really popular bar that has like a goth bar. It's called Area 51, and they play like scenes from movies and shit. You could play this. You could play this entire movie and just fucking play like goth house music, and you'd be fine.
And just have
it'd be yep. Just play different scenes of the zombies attacking people, and trust me, great background.
Great stuff.
Great goth DJ background.
Because
I just gave you free real estate.
Yeah, because
take it.
In all those scenes, you have like the fog effects and like the blue like nighttime light. It's made to be in a goth montage.
Yes,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And the zombies are just literally just goths.
It's just goths. It's just edgy goths. I mean, I'm sorry, the scene where they're in the school and they're getting attacked by the kid zombies, it's just like, look, this is what the goths do to you, man. It's all those goth children.
They're ruining the youth.
Fucking youth.
They're ruining small rural towns.
That's what happens when you listen to too much
Maybe that, you know what? Maybe we're missing the point. Maybe it's an allegory for how goth music destroyed small town America.
Yeah, that's what the chemical is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what's in there.
Goth music.
The distillation of goth music is in the
distillation of goth music.
That's what happens when you listen to him too much.
Oh my god. I mean, back then it would have been probably, like you said, Sisters of Mercy, The Cure,
yeah.
Shit like that. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
Just fucking distilled angst.
I know. They're literally like, no, I'm going to be under the covers. Fuck you. Like the uncle is just a typical goth kid who doesn't want to go to school.
It spreads around. Spreads around and it sucks your blood.
That you suck others' blood.
This youth, yeah, listen, bad music, devil music.
It's all true.
See, we got to the real point in this movie.
Like I understand. I understand.
The mutant is not what's in the movie.
As a fellow,
the mutant is music, and it should never be messed with.
I wonder who the real mutants are. Who'd you say? We some kind of mutant squad? I'm just thinking of all the dumb fucking shit people say.
Mm-hmm.
I love the scene where the mutants came out and they mutanted all over everybody.
So shitty to pretty, what would you give this?
I give it a 6.
Honestly, I'm sorry, I was going to give it a 6 too, but no explosion. It gets a 5. It gets a 5. Sorry, I meant it. Okay, I really meant it. If there's no
entirely fair.
If there's no explosion in your movie, I'm docking a point.
It's funny because there's almost 2 opportunities. Because there's the car, right?
There's many opportunities, yeah.
Well, there's the car that flips over, which is like the ideal one. But the fact that they're also in a gas station, too.
They were throwing Molotov cocktails at a gas tank, yeah.
Yeah.
I just, listen.
And they
Sorry, I gotta be strict, okay?
And they couldn't do it.
I gotta be strict. If you do not have explosions, when you are prepped and primed for them, you will be docked a point.
It's only fair.
So even if I love the movie, docking a point. Even if it's a 10 out of 10, if there's no explosion,
9 out of 10.
When a car flips over or they're near a gas station, a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Which is unspeakable.
It's my new rule, my new resolution. If there's no explosions,
and they primed you for it.
So if there's like no opportunity for explosion, that's fine.
That's fine.
But if there's an opportunity for an explosion, like if a fucking car goes off a cliff, I know cars don't explode when they go off cliffs, okay?
But it looks cool.
But it looks fucking cool. So if you don't explode your car when you're near a gas station, when you're off a cliff, or when you roll your car somewhere, I'm sorry, you're getting docked a point.
It just reminds me of in Black Dynamite when the guy's car goes off a cliff and it explodes like mid-air before it even hits anything. It just fucking annihilates itself.
Oh shit! I don't know why I was watching the remake of 21 Jump Street with Jonah
Oh yeah,
Hill.
or everything.
That fucking scene where they're on the bridge,
exploding.
where they're on the bridge and like the gas tanker like gets a bunch of bullet holes in it and everything, and they think it's gonna explode and it doesn't. And then later on, the fucking like chicken truck explodes, and they're like, "That exploded, but the other one." Oh fuck. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry if you don't. I know no directors are listening to this. Maybe they are. I don't know. If you are,
please let us know.
I know the point system doesn't really fucking matter at all.
No, nothing matters. This movie's fucking over 30 years old, so.
Docked a point.
Yeah.
So I hope that stings, okay?
I hope you know you lost an opportunity.
You could have had a 6 out of 10 instead of a 5 out of 10 on a random podcast rating, okay?
Yeah, millions of listeners
should be ashamed.
Could have known.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
You know, millions of listeners know that you neglected an explosion.
You should look at this episode and just weep.
I mean, listen, you're not as bad as Uwe Boll, obviously, but come on, man. Why'd you have to hurt us?
We have lizard brains.
When you hurt us, you hurt America.
Lizard brains are easy to appease.
You
give us explosions, cool action scenes, and good effects. That's all we need.
Yeah, I want aesthetics.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
I want style.
This movie could have literally been just people talking in fucking gibberish, but if you gave us explosions and aesthetics, I would have been like 10 out of 10.
That should tell you how kind of boring the movie is. We're ranting about the fact that nothing exploded.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like,
it's an 80s movie. You did not have an explosion?
That is my main bitch.
Shameful. Shameful.
That is my main nitpick point. No explosions. Get your fucking act together. All right. Sorry, I'm done. I'm done. I'm upset now. Okay, we got it.
No. Whoa. We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a parent.
Yeah, exactly. Just be better.
I expected more
just
of you.
Do better. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
Do better.
No, I'm not mad. I'm just like really disappointed.
No. Yeah. All right. Before we go into obscurity,
oh boy,
this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
We'll talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
We're gonna go be edgy.
Get more fucking explosions in your movies.
God damn it.